comes to doctrinal alignment in the marriage relationship, my hope would be that doctrinal considerations began well before that there was even a dating relationship, that even as you begin to grow as friends, that you'd be paying attention to how someone understands the Bible, how someone applies the Bible, what they believe about specifically the close-handed nature of certain doctrines. Like there are certain doctrines that make us distinctively Christian, and so without those doctrines, then man, for me it would be a game changer. I wouldn't marry a non-believer. Now, with that said, I think that if you're already married and this kind of tension has arose in that you believe this doctrinally and she believes that doctrinally, and it's a secondary type of doctrine, then man, I would extend grace, seek to understand, and have good conversation about where you differ. If it's a significant secondary doctrine, like I think in regards to marriage, if you had a man that was, let's switch it. If you had a woman that was ferociously complementarian and a man that was ferociously egalitarian, like I think that that's going to cause some issues in the relationship, in how who leads what, who takes, and so I understand the concept of mutual submission, but I think ultimately that's a secondary doctrine that if you're on different positions, it could cause a lot of havoc in your marriage. And so ultimately, I think this is another one of those areas in which we exercise grace and patience. If you're already in the covenant bond, we certainly don't divorce over this issue, but we do try to figure out a way to live a distinctively Christian life inside the boundaries of our covenant marriage. So
I think it's important to maybe if there's one person that's a little bit more educated, has more knowledge of doctrine, theology, maybe has gone, like for us, Matt's gone to Bible college and he's done the work that a lot of master's and doctorate levels students have done. And I read, but I'm not as well read as he is. But I'm still challenged to keep growing in that and to also know that even in my limited knowledge, that there's something that I can offer to him. And so the more that I sharpen myself in knowing theology, knowing doctrine, I will be able to sharpen him. So maybe if there's some like secondary issues like you're talking about, that maybe we just kind of rub on, and I want to not push against in a way that's not respectful, but just kind of stretch him and he stretches me. I at least have some legs to stand on in reading and knowing my Bible and knowing these things, and having that time to be able to kind of sharpen each other and grow in those areas that are secondary. And I agree totally about there are some issues that are just close-handed, and like you said, that there are going to be times where you've already committed, you're already there, and what I would encourage you is God knew that was going to happen. He knew that he was going to change one heart and the other heart might be slower to change. And so there's something for you there, something that God wants to work in the sanctification process that's for both of your good, for both of your joy, even if it's hard, and for God's glory.